Hey everyone, it's Gary LOL, and today I'm going to be bringing you a mid-range druid build that I have used to get legend the last two seasons, 10 and 11, I believe. We go over the card choices. Innervate, staple, wild growth staple, use those to ramp up your mana. Wrath, pretty staple removal. If you need a card draw, you use the 1 damage and draw a card, especially with removal too. This is double combo, so we are running double Savage Roar. Big Game Hunter, Dr. Boom is a big thing in this meta, so Big Game Hunter is pretty much required. Shade of Naxxramas, it's a very solid 3-drop. It's stealth. The only hard counter to it is like Blast Mage, Holy Nova, etc. But if you play it on turn 3, you're really not going to be seeing any of those, especially if you ramp forward. Swipe is staple in all druid builds, same with Keeper of the Grove. Depending on the situation, you silence or damage, obviously. You can also damage the face, which can be used to press for lethal. Piloted Shredder, we replaced Chillwind Yeti, because this is more, this is stickier than a Chillwind Yeti. You also get, there's the backdrop of getting a Doomsayer or a 1-1 from it, but the power it can give you a 3-2 or a 2-3 or something that could really ruin your opponent's day. I had one time a Scavenging Hyena come out with a Druid of the Claw on the board, so it became a 4-3. Druid of the Claw, staple in every Druid build. I like to use it to push for damage. I put it in charge about 75-80% of the time. Harrison Jones, it's a meta call, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Sludge Belcher, I originally had Spectral Knight in Season 10, but I felt the Sludge Belcher was a little bit better. It's one of those cards that are a pain in the ass to really remove. It can get better as it goes on. You can play it with a Shade on turn 8 and then set up for combo on turn 9, for example. It's about thinking ahead. Double Force of Nature goes with the Savage Roar. It's a double combo deck. Sylvanas, I really like her. I really do, especially in this meta right now. And against decks that don't run silences, it can be a great swing card. And it's very crucial to play it at the right time versus a Mech Mage, because Mech Mage is very hard to deal with this deck. It's one of the harder decks to deal with. Black Knight, it's a meta call. You can replace it with Zombie Chow if you're seeing a lot more aggro. But in the meta that I'm seeing currently, I don't really feel it's necessary to run a Chow, so I chose the Black Knight over Chow. Ancient Allure, card draw 95% of the time. If you're going against Face Hunter, you can use it to heal. Just make sure that you have some way of killing them. Dr. Boom, staple in pretty much every deck. Very powerful 7-drop. Outside of Druid, there's no other good 7-drops, but this one is very staple. And then Scenarios, just a late game buff card. You can even use it for trees and make sure your opponent can't kill you. Let's go into gameplay.
Malfurion versus Thrall!
For Doomhammer, I must protect the wild.
Alright, Shaman is one of the more difficult matchups for this deck because of their cheap removal. If this is an all-in Shaman though, it really just depends on how you draw. I like keeping Keeper, but I also like finding ramp, so the fact that we have Innervate and Keeper in our opening hand is great. We just need something to play afterwards, so if we could find a Shade or something, that would be good as well. Okay, so there's the Wild Growth.
Greetings, friend. My greetings.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and innervate that out.
Where shall I strike?
There's no reason to push right now, it's still the early game. play the Beltron. It's a shame we don't have Harrison, but at the same time, we can just silence whatever mech he decides to play here.
I must safeguard the land. For the wild.
Unless he wants to Flame Tongue a 1-2, he can go ahead, but it won't accomplish much. He'd much rather develop minions here. Thankfully we found a lore. Anything would have done.
Special delivery!
So that's unfortunate. But it's nothing. Go ahead and draw cards here. Okay. We also have we have the option of double comboing too. But I think if this lore sticks and he doesn't roll a taunt totem, he'll be scared. Okay, so we get a shade of our kill the bomb lobber. It's turn 7, is the only reason I didn't throw out the big game hunter. So he could just doctor. Okay, pulls fire elemental. Which again is fine. Okay. So we'll go ahead and Wrath for 1 because I want to find a I want something to play. That's the main thing. Find the Shredder, it's fine. Okay. Go ahead and do that. I don't think he can kill us here. The only thing that's keeping him from not dying here is rolling a taunt totem. So I believe this. Okay, so the double combo is 22. That's going to become an 8, so that's 30 points of damage. Easy. Usually the shamans are a little bit more all in. But this one just so happened to be a little bit controlling. So, it's game number 1.
Malfurion versus Anduin.
The light shall bring victory.
I must protect the wild.
Okay, against Priest, some people say it's a hard matchup, some people say it's an easy matchup. This matchup is just very draw dependent though. I don't want to keep Lore Savage, obviously. The toss-up between keeping Keeper or not, you have to think, what can they play on turns 4 and 5, for example? I like keeping it because of Sylvanas, but at the same time, if they're playing Sylvanas on turn 6, you're pretty far ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and toss out the Wild Growth and Innervate. Against slower matchups, you generally want to keep your, Okay, so this is an excellent curve here. Wild Growth, the Shade, and the Shredder, and the Belcher. So go ahead and coin the Wild Growth, get that Shade out there as soon as possible.
Is someone injured?
Plan stays the same.
The damned stand ready.
Okay, so what we want to do here is we're going to play the Shredder. The reason behind that, and not attack with the Shade, no need to reveal it yet. And the reasoning behind that is because I want him to trade his Dark Cultist into my Shredder and then buff his Northshire Cleric to a 1/8. So I can just silence it next turn. That's the reasoning behind that. You could just silence it right now. Okay, so he's gonna trade. It's gonna be an owl, sadly. Okay, so he's gonna heal. That's all he's gonna do.
Do you like to play with fire?
Well, that kind of changes things a little bit, doesn't it? You can opt to keep or the 3/2, or to let him, or to silence the 1/8. What can he do on turn 5, spell-wise? Holy Nova. That really won't do much. I was on coin, so he can't coin Light Bomb. Good. I don't really see much of anything.
What to do?
Okay. So I'm gonna opt for the silence here.
I must safeguard the land.
I like that a lot. I can always trade the 2/4 into the 3/2.
I must consider.
Medic!
Okay, so it's looking like I'll get a trade in on that, the, injured Blade Master. So go ahead and trade that in before it gets that. We're gonna drop a, okay, so this is one of the key points that I like to explain here. Druid of the Claw versus Sludge Belcher. We really have no reason to push right now, but at the same time I like keeping the priest board clear. So you have to think, what can he do on turn 6? He could Holy Nova. If we Druid of the Claw charge the 1/1, it'll be a 4/3. Holy Nova won't kill it. He could Light Bomb. It'd be a big waste of a turn. And then I get an empty board to play Ancient of Lore. He could Death next turn. It's one of those things. So I'm gonna opt to Druid of the Claw and charge. Go off that 1/1. Keeping the priest board clear. I mean, he could Arcanine Circle here, but I can just Hero Power and then drop a Sludge Belcher next turn if I really want to.
Embrace the void.
So, yet again, I'm going to
Where shall I
charge
strike?
and then Hero Power that.
For the wild.
A lot of people like to play defensively because they think, oh, I can't kill it this turn. Yes, you can, and it's very crucial that you do. So here he can Holy Nova. He could play Dr. Boom. He could do a lot of things here. That's interesting. Thanks for the okay, that's unfortunate. What can you do? So I'm gonna draw a card here. Okay, we got the big game hunter in case of Ragnaros, etc. So he can death here, but I just have a Sylvanas following it up. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna Sylvanas.
I have no time for games.
Just used a Holy Nova and an Arcanine. So if he has the second Holy Nova, great for him. But you can't really play around both, especially when he has 16 cards left in his deck. Goes for the Thought Steal. Hope he gets... No, he can't get Wild Growth. That's a shame.
Let me change your
At
mind.
least the Naked Cabal. Okay, so we have 7, 12, 26 damage currently.
Let none survive.
So I'm gonna steal the can I steal the Cabal? I think I can steal the Cabal. I might do that.
Let none
I'm
survive.
gonna steal the Cabal here. So we'll go ahead and well, let me draw a card first. You always draw cards first if you're gonna draw. So I should have done that first. Okay. So we'll go ahead and Savage Roar.
For the wild.
Trade up into that. Trade into that. Last day. This is just, it's weak to Dr. Boom, but, you know, I don't know what he stole. That's the thing. You can't really play around a whole lot of thought stolen cards. Okay. So, Force of Nature. Stole Force of Nature. So he's desperate. Oh, hang on to this
Obey.
swipe. I'll just trade to that.
Show me.
I want to keep the innovation. That's really my only reasoning for it, and I don't want to overextend any more than necessary. I'm still looking for Dr. Boom, because, you know, you could Dr. Boom, innervate, swipe. Just depends on a lot of factors.
I must consider.
I have no time for games.
There's this. Chow. Okay. Okay, that's a beautiful draw. Good draw. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and trade into that, because he's gonna trade into it. Just go face here.
For the wild.
So he still has one of my thought stolen cards. I'm not running Chow currently, I'm running Black Knight. So we're just gonna Scenarius buff.
Obey.
Okay, so the thing is, if he fully Novas, we're still left with a couple of 1/1s. He could, okay, so if he Holy Novas and, wait, he has to trade that in. Okay, if he gets our, 6/1, we have 7 plus combo, which is 21. 22 if you count the innervate. I'm trying to think whether or not I want to trade into that. I don't think I want to. I think I'd rather just place damage here. Now he'll trade. Big guy. Need a death or something to deal with. Mind control. Sneaky. Go ahead and Wrath for 1. Okay, so we swipe face, drop Shredder, we innervate hero power
For the
face.
wild.
So when if he heals for 2 next turn, he'll be like, oh, I'm out of combo range. Well, I have Force of Nature, Savage Roar, innervate hero power for 15. The only way he can get out of this is if he heals for more than just 2 here, which I feel is unlikely.
Well played.
For the wild.
Let's move on to the
Malfurion versus Rexar.
Let the hunt begin. I must protect the wild.
Another common matchup. Okay, so you don't want two wild growths against Hunter. He mulliganed all but one card there, and he's also on the coin. So the chances of him having a bow might be high, so I might just keep Harrison here, but I'm definitely looking for wild growth. Okay, unfortunate that we drew our only 9-drop deck, and we have nothing to go off of past the wild growth.
I am ready.
So we place the clockwork. I'm not sure if he's mid-range or aggro yet. Based on our hand, there's really nothing to do, so I'm gonna wild growth. I want to save the Wrath for like Huffer, etc. If he knife jugglers here, we got a pretty sick turn.
I wonder.
Put this apple on your head.
Okay. So this is a really good turn here. So we wrap that for 3.
For the
We have Druid
wild.
of the Claw to fall back. We have some time to find something else to play between Druid of the Claw and Dark Tomb.
Oh!
If he plays a weapon here, then we're in even better shape. Good Animal Companion, but we have Druid of the Claw to counter it.
To my side.
Okay, it's Leok. But normally your instinct is to just play a Druid of the Claw in taunt form. I don't want that alive though.
Where
So
shall I
charge
strike?
Okay, and we have filler if we need it with Fortune. Okay, so there's the Glaive Zuka. I think that's as good a weapon as I'm gonna see. Go ahead and hear it.
That belongs in a museum.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Opting to trade.
Ready to ride.
Swipe would be really good here. Okay, so we're just gonna play a Belcher.
For the wild.
Great for that. He's running Wolf Rider, so he's face. It's turn 7 and we're at 23 health, which we're in good shape because our late game is a lot better than his. He has a silence that's
Put this
fine
apple
too.
on your head.
This would be the knife is really good. So we're in great shape yet again. We can. I would like that knife juggler to backfire on him actually, so I'm actually going to keep it alive. Well, it's one of those situations where you have to decide if you want to be the beatdown or the defensive, and I'm going to opt to be the beatdown. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap that for 1. I'm going to make that knife instant Doctor Whip. So, and if he doesn't kill any bombs, I can Cenarius buff.
Well fought.
Straight up. So, that Arcane Golem backfired on you're going against, like I said, if you're going against face decks, a lot of them, then you need to put the Chow back in place of the Black Knight, because you're not going to get any value out of Black Knight. But, that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks for watching.